Mm.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the loud child. Awesome. Please go play with your train set. The loud and child inclusive Star Trek stream, um, where we attempt to review the Wrath of Kahn today. I have with me my wonderful friends, Irate Prostate,
Oh, hey, what's up?
Skeptalk,
Hi, everybody.
Hammer,
Hello.
and random interruptions from the 3-year-old.
Right on cue.
That was, you're Barry Whiting, Skep.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
You're all low.
Used to be sounding low, man. Mm.
So we are here today to talk about the, I would say probably at least out of the first 6 movies, the best movie. The Wrath of Kahn.
Mama, did you?
Sweetie, I need you to go play with your trains.
Okay.
Yes, cheetah speed. And my backpack. So the Wrath of Kahn, for anyone who doesn't know what it's about, what's wrong with you, first of all? But let's summarize it very quickly. It is a return of Kahn from the original series episode Space Seed. He is, this is his reaction, I guess, to being left on Tau Ceti 5. And his...
Hey, Mommy.
Hi! You don't want to spend this much time with me when I'm not online, you know that?
Yeah.
So...
You seen through my veil of deception.
So we have basically this is Kahn blaming Kirk. This is Kahn blaming Kirk for what happened to Tau Ceti 5, which is the sun. What was it? The sun.
Tau Ceti 4 blew up.
Or Tau Ceti 4 blew up and moved the orbit
Right.
of Tau Ceti 5 and basically changed the climate to the point where it was uninhabitable. And had they not been genetically enhanced, they probably, well, not probably, they would have perished. And because Kirk never came to check on them, which is, if you remember what he asked for, he wanted to be left alone. If you watch Space Seed, Khan was like, leave us alone, like just go away, right? And
let us establish our own thing.
Yeah, and as soon as something goes wrong, it's your classic, megalomania, narcissist. Something has gone wrong. I must find someone else to blame, so I can look, I can look good to my followers. But also, we also find out about the Genesis weapon, which is also going to be important for the next movie next week. And we also, there's a lot to find out. We have Kirk, finding out he has a son. We have some awesome dialogue from Ricardo Montalban and Kirk together.
Admiral.
Yeah, Admiral. Or the, I've done far worse than kill you. I've hurt you. And I wish to go on hurting you. Like, oh, dude. Such awesome dialogue. And the music. The music in The Wrath of Kahn is
Excellent.
awesome.
It is really excellent. It really is.
Okay. Why are you two running around while I'm trying to do this? So since I've introduced the movie, is there anything anyone wants to start off talking about? Anyone at all? Don't anyone talk at once.
The eugenics wars. In 1992, the Ottomans, born around the late 1950s, seized power over 40 nations on Earth, leading to the conflict known to them as the eugenics war. They
Yeah.
battled among each other with normal humans. The Ottomans were mostly horrible despots, treating their subjects like slaves.
And
once they cleaned
and
Send
who
them on
is
the
the
body
creator of them? We find this out in Enterprise. Who helped with them? Later on in the 23rd century, 22nd century.
Erickson.
Yeah. Data's creator.
Afternoon soon.
Yep. But we have just and the horror elements. I really like the horror elements in the movie when there's more than one moment. There's when Khan or when Chekhov and his captain discover Khan, and the horror when Chekhov reads Botany Bay. Like,
yeah,
in the original series, it's comical, right? When he's like Botany Bay, like it's comical. But in this, he's terror. He's like, oh shit, right? We gotta go now, right?
Yeah.
And his captain's like, why? What's wrong? Oh, I don't understand. And Chekhov's like, just go, come on. Right? He's freaking out, rightfully so, right? And then you get this scene, which is pretty, for Star Trek and for the fact that it's early 80s, it's pretty gruesome. That brain, the slug that wraps around the which cortex did he say? I can't remember what it was. It wraps around the part of your brain stem that controls your rational thought. It makes you highly suggestive, and then it eventually eventually drives you mad and kills you. And it's the only remaining living creature.
Indigenous.
Yeah, living indigenous creature from Tau City 5. And it's a pet now, apparently. Even though it killed some of his people, including his wife, he's decided, I'm gonna semi-domesticate these things and use them for my own nefarious I've often wondered, and this is something that I wanted to bring up with you guys. Does genius and almost supreme intelligence almost go hand in hand with insanity?
Frequently.
maybe personality disorders too, like megalomania and narcissism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you look at people like even in real life, you look at people who are genius level, and not all of them are psychopaths, but they are not what you would consider a run-of-the-mill person, right? They're just you run the gambit from that person's weird to guys, please stop yelling. To the like you get Kahn, the over intelligent genius psycho. Because at this point he's not even a sociopath. He's legitimately psychotic. Like you his first officer at one point is like, "Sir," but and Hammer even pointed this out in our last stream. He's like, "Sir, we have a ship. We're free.
Yeah.
Why? Why do we need to do this?" And he's basically like, he tasks me, which is, he pisses me off.
Right.
He pisses me off, and I want him dealt with. That's the only reason. There's no other reason at that point. Kirk just pisses Khan off, and he just doesn't want him around anymore.
So is Khan a sociopath or a psychopath?
I would call him a psychopath.
I would too.
Well,
I tend to think that too.
In the DSM, they've merged them together anyway, and they call it psychopathy. So
why would they? I thought aren't they like the opposite ends of the spectrum?
they're trying to deconstruct it, man. Don't even get it, man. It's
yeah. I tend to go by the definitions that I was taught 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Which I think were actually more useful.
Well, psychotics are driven by psychosis. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas sociopath is driven by what's in it for me?
Yeah.
And lack of empathy, right?
Yeah.
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 That's what I was.
And they're less like psychopath or sociopaths are not emotional. Right. They don't. They can fake emotion.
Right. They can feign it. Right.
But they don't. Like Khan is not faking any of the hatred and like this is pure. He's snapped. He's lost it.
Yeah. He's had a real break with reality.
Yeah.
And what Kirk represents to him is something, a larger villain than any villain could possibly be to any man.
Mm-hmm.
Like a force of nature that is just a blinding, white-hot object of hate that he just has to obliterate and wants to, torture and destroy. And he really sells it. That's the other thing. Ricardo Montalban totally sold that.
He was amazing. Especially when they've beamed inside the asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Kirk or Khan steals the part of the weapon. Yeah. And he's like,
yeah.
And he's just, you're buried alive. It's.
I'm curious as to Hammer's opinion about that, because he tends to disagree with me about these opinion pieces like that. I'm just curious as to, did you like Ricardo Montalban as Khan?
Absolutely.
You did?
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He really sold the movie. Was anybody else, this movie would be average.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. He was incredible.
Because he sold it in the Space Seed episode too, and it would just not make any sense to not like had they asked him and he turned it down and they had to go with somebody else, it would be different. But I mean, like to not like
Tom Hanks can't do this part.
No.
Yeah, I'd say Tom Hanks can play anything. No, he can't.
No,
it's Forrest Kahn.
Forrest Kahn.
My mama said Kirk was
not a smart man.
My mama said Kirk was a bad man.
But fire.
Bubba Con shrimp.
And can we just talk about the fact that we like the transformation of, you see old Admiral Kirk at the beginning of this movie. You see like and you
He makes the comments about traipsing around spaces for young people.
Yeah. And you've got Spock and McCoy in each their own way. Spock far more subtly. Here, have a tale of two cities, and Kirk reads the first line. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, and he talks about it's your birthday, and you should clearly the best of times. Just it's
the irony is lost on everybody of the last line. It's a far better rest than I ever go to. Okay, whatever. You're about to go get your head cut off. Just saying.
Yeah. and then there's and then
for those of us
McCoy
who
comes
actually
in.
read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then McCoy comes in and he's got the bottle of Romulan ale, and the first thing Kirk says, and this is totally an indicator of old Admiral Kirk, is bones. That's illegal. And it's just young Kirk would be like, Captain Kirk would have been like, sweet, Romulan ale, let's go, right?
Is that did you bring some for you?
Yeah. You don't expect me to share this bottle, do you? But this is, old Admiral Kirk, and he's like, this is illegal, and Bones is like, so? It's your birthday and you're Admiral Kirk. Just drink it, basically, right? And then he goes, and he says I love Bones in these movies, because his lines aren't they're not deep. They're not as deep as some of his lines are in the series. But the way DeForest Kelley delivers them is so powerful. Like, Jim, get back your command before you become part of this collection.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was
That's a good line.
That was it.
Well, and it's all about getting older, right?
Yeah.
Why was this so much better written than the first movie? What was up with that?
It was written by a dude named Nicholas Myers. He wrote the screenplay. The stories by Harvey Bennett and Jack B. Swords.
I don't care who wrote it, but they just did a better job.
They certainly did.
Maybe it was because they had something to build off of. They had Space Seed to build off of. They had
I think this
an
dude was a script
interesting
doctor.
backstory to say, hey, we can pogo off of this thing.
Yeah.
Because with the first movie, they just kind of said, well,
yeah,
here we are. We got to have here's our first movie, Star Trek the movie, and we're going to have pictures of Star Trek ships.
Yeah.
And people on the bridge of Star Trek ships.
And we're gonna have them
and then
pictures
the
of
end.
them. Yeah, and we're gonna have pictures of people on the ship looking out of the ship.
Right, at the stars.
At the stars.
At the stars. And then it'll be over.
And then it'll be done.
The movie never really happened.
And then we have, and even when Khan is trying to tell Chekhov's captain, Kirk marooned us. And, and Chekhov is like, what the fuck are you talking about, you crazy old man?
That's not exactly a straight story.
Right, they found him a Class M planet and, kind of set him up with
with nothing but his cargo bays to support us. He didn't have to give you anything.
He could have stuck him back in the freezer.
Yeah. You guys were criminals, first of all. And,
Yeah.
you were in permanent freezer storage, and well, anyway, uh, typical psychopathic nut job criminal, and came to a bad end. And there you go.
And I really enjoy I enjoy the I enjoy the fact that it took until almost halfway through the movie for Kirk to be like, to tell Savick, well, I cheated on the Kobayashi.
Yeah, right. Well, I cheated.
I reprogrammed the simulation. Like, I have to say that is that I am glad that they never screwed with that in the Kelvin timeline. That's one thing I'm glad they left alone. Like,
Well, I mean, that kind of defines Kirk, right? In a way, that's what a fundamental.
Yeah. In the Kelvin timeline, he still fucks with the test. That's good. They didn't even they didn't screw that up.
I like to stay on the car too.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's I like when you get he's taking them out for what he calls a training cruise. Right? And they get the order, or they get them the message from Dr. Carol Marcus. Why are you trying to take Genesis from us? Because one of the things that Khan does is gets Chekhov to tell them, under order of Admiral Kirk, we're coming for all the Genesis material. Have it ready. Because Khan put the slug in his
eel.
brain.
It's a SETI eel.
SETI eel, that's it.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if that's kind of the basis or the jumping off point for the brain slugs in TNG.
Maybe I thought the same thing. With the little thing sticking out of Riker's naked. That was so cool.
Yeah.
That's a great episode.
That is it. I still won't let the kids watch that with me.
Yeah.
Like, there are some episodes of Trek of Star Trek that I'm like, nope, you're not ready for that yet. And that would be one of them. Because even for, it's probably crappy visuals, but it's, they're 6 and 3. I don't think they're ready for creatures attaching to your neck and making you evil.
And eating worms.
Yeah. But I love Sulu. He's so much for a training cruise. He's just oh my. Yeah. Good. I was much happier with because what made me upset with the first movie was that Lieutenant Ilea chick. She was so vapid and she was so like
the historian.
Yeah. No, the chick who V'ger turns into a probe, the Ilea from the first movie.
Oh yeah.
She was so vapid and like her character was so annoying. But then in the second movie, you get somebody like Dr. Carol Marcus, who has a lot more substance as a character. And because we know Kirk more than we knew Decker, like the Decker Jr., we get more of a feel for like she means more to the story, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like the parallel between Khan making Kirk this larger than life villain and David making Starfleet this larger than life evil entity that only wants to make scientific discoveries into weapons and Kirk never, he's always shitting all over Kirk, even though he has no idea who the man really is. And like, I kind of like the dynamic of the single mom for once not shitting on the absentee father. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there was a reason, like, and she said to Kirk, she's like, we both wanted different things. You weren't ready. I wasn't going to make you be ready. I wanted him.
And she sounds very independent in saying that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. And it's not like a fuck you like type of independence. It's just, this was the decision that I made, and I knew it was best for everybody involved.
There's an interesting parallel with the Federation being cast as this kind of overlord, weapon-centric, evil organization, focused on control and, kind of a sinister organization. This movie was released in 1982?
Yeah.
And that was just after the 70s. The 70s was a time when the United States government had that reputation of being very tight with the military-industrial complex, the Lockheed, General Dynamics, Boeing, Ling Temco, LTV, all the big defense contractors in tight with the government, and the government looking for ways to shovel money into the defense contractors' pockets by foreign adventurism. And we're still really smarting from Vietnam.
Exactly. I remember them talking about the B-1 bomber.
Oh, the B-1,
the Lancer.
Oh yeah, and having so many of the parts being made in Northrop, which the only reason Northrop existed was it was basically a Long Island company, and it was the New York congressman, the New York Congress creatures that demanded that Northrop get a bunch of business. Yes, exactly. I mean, not Northrop, Grumman. That's what I'm trying to say.
They're Northrop Grumman now. So
yeah, Northrop Grumman now, and that was partially why Grumman got bought, basically. But anyway, continue on. I'm sorry, I just wanted to kind of throw that in there. I think that may have been in the back of their minds.
You gave me the opportunity to go check on the children
on your eels.
Yeah.
On your donut hole eels.
Well, because I've moved into my bedroom. Because they're playing and they're yelling, and
of course they are.
And I don't want to be that kind of parent that's like, stop playing! Yeah. I'm streaming! Right.
So if you got a 3-year-old kid and he's not running around naked, something's wrong with him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. He would if I let him. But the thing is, he's not potty trained. So we're still working on that.
Gotcha.
So I'm not going to let him run around because he doesn't care. He'll just be like, I went to the bathroom. Ha 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 ha. Like, really, dude? And then you'll ask him where you go to the bathroom, and he tells you the right spot. You go on the toilet. Ha 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 ha. Then why didn't you go on the toilet? Sorry. Ha 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 ha. Like, oh.
And you think, just to divert for a second, you think that these times will never be gone, and they will be gone. They will be gone so fast, and be deep in the memory hole, and you'll just wonder, where the hell did that go? And there'll be just such distant memories. Those kids will grow up, and it's when they get to be about 9 or 10 years old and they start to get some independence, they really don't frickin' need you then.
Even when they still need you, they're like,
Even-
"Go away, you piece of annoying! Oh my god!"
God, dude, and that's when you really discover wells of maturity in yourself that you didn't know that you had. Anyway, I'm sorry, didn't mean to.
Hey, you know, it kind
dip
of
off into
ties
that.
in because Kirk finds out that he's a dad.
Yes, he
And-
does.
And the first thing his son does before he finds out that he's his son
Yep.
is try to beat the crap out of him.
It's
Because that's
not the
what
first time that's happened.
It's because that's what you do, apparently, before you find out what's really going on, is you start throwing punches, which, by the way, very Kirk. You know what I mean?
That has to be one of the most testosterone-laden scenes
Yeah.
in all of Kirkdom. It's just my opinion. I don't know.
And it's
I'm talking too much. I want other people.
No, you're actually helping. Like I find it very well written that they had David do that because it's such a Kirk thing to do.
Mm-hmm. It was
When
very
Kirk
Kirky.
when Kirk is pissed, what does Kirk do? Kirk does.
Yeah, and Kirk throws punches
And
too.
Kirk,
when he gets frustrated.
Kirk throws punches. And what did David do? He acted, and he threw punches.
He was very Kirkish.
Very Kirk, you know, like, and even his reaction to finding out that Kirk is his dad,
yes,
was very Kirk. It was like, really, you know, it's just. Fine. Yeah.
Something else to deal with.
Yeah. It was very, very Kirk. And I think the writing was good. And I think I can't remember the name of the guy who plays him. But the guy who played David did it
very fine.
Did it very good. Yeah. Did a very good acting job.
And they didn't go sentimental, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
They could have played that with the violins, and that just would have spoiled that completely.
I think the no music for that whole scene, except for when they show the Genesis cave, to have no music, even up until Kirk yells at Khan. They have no music, and that's very rare for Star Trek.
There's one line I have a problem with and all that, and that's when she says, "Can I cook or can I cook?"
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That's an egotistical, stupid line.
Well, and it doesn't make, like, can I cook or can't I? Like, cook. You didn't cook. You
didn't.
You created.
You didn't even do it. I mean, yes, it's your project, but you know, it's you're taking a lot of credit, lady. You know, it's just
it didn't fit.
It's kind of an accomplishment. So
no, it's an accomplishment, but it didn't fit with me. It didn't fit her character for me.
Yeah.
It seemed personal with Kirk. Like it seemed to me from just reviewing that part of the movie that there seems to be something else going on that we're not being explained.
Like an inside.
Like maybe he cooks. Maybe when they were together. That there was a little bit of.
Kind of like an inside remark.
Yeah, like because Kirk's known for his cooking.
That's true.
And so maybe she woke up one morning and made something for him and it didn't work out or something like that. And
so
I never thought about it like that.
We're missing something here.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
I wanted to mention also, you're saying about how the music is well crafted, engaging. But I want to expand that just a little bit to say that the entire soundscape is stunning and different. You don't really hear a lot of engine sound. You don't hear typical sounds that you hear in the TV shows or other movies.
Yeah,
they're in the they're fighting and they're inside the Matar Nebula, And when the ship moves in the Mitaran Nebula, you don't hear any noise from the ship. But what you do hear is this crack of thunder, something you would not actually hear or probably wouldn't hear. I mean, the Mitaran Nebula, I guess, would be possible for it to conduct sound, even though it's in space. But you hear this crack of thunder as the ship moves about. And when they're inside the ship, you don't hear the boom, 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 boom of the engine, but you do hear static from the monitor. I don't know if you ever had static show up on a monitor, but generally it's not loud enough that you would expect to hear it in the movie. Usually when they show static, it's very quiet, but here it's very loud by comparison. I like that because I think if you were actually standing on their bridge and talking to Khan, that the volume would be high enough that if you didn't counter static, you would hear it.
I did like the touch that when they got really badly crippled when Khan fired the Reliance weapons, and they were trying to speak to Scotty. I did like the touch that it was very staticky in comms between bridge and engineering, which it would be if you had just been fired upon at that close range by another starship, and you got comms patched together to talk to engineering. You're damn right it's gonna be staticky. I like that touch. You don't actually hear that much in later Star Trek. It's either comms is working fine on board ship, or it's not. Right?
Yeah.
There's no, oh, we got it patched up to engineering. You don't hear that. And I like that touch. I think you're right about the soundscape, Hammer.
That's what I was going to say. In the late 70s and 80s is when the concept of sound design started really showing up in film, especially like stuff like David Cronenberg or Lynch, even David Lynch especially. My God, but yeah, that's a good catch, Hammer.
It's
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
And even the eel sounds were really creepy.
Yeah.
Yes, very creepy. And thinking those things going into your ear.
Yeah.
No thanks. No, thank you.
There's and then there's another sequence that's pretty the horror esque sequence is when they get on board Regular One.
Yeah.
And there is just bodies. There's just bodies.
Yep.
And that's very un-Trek. Like, to be that, like, we have found bodies before in like the Naked Now. But they were much more palatable. If you know what I mean, they were a much, like, it was still a disturbing discovery, but they were much more like, they were preserved. They were, most of them were like, they were dressed, right? They were in uniform. They were, there was no like murder going on, right? But on Regular One, it was like, it was in your face. It was something really bad happened here. And again, the music, it was, it wasn't over the top. It was just the right suspense. It was, and then you find, like, there's even a jump scare. Because somebody finds I can't remember what it was that they found, but they actually jump. Like, you hear the characters, ugh! And it's so quiet up until then that you jump. You're like, holy shit, what, oh God, they found something. And it's a well crafted, like just a great movie. The way it's crafted between the horror, the theme, the themes that it has of growing old and also rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
And
The whole
and
thing with Genesis.
yeah, and
there's a theme there.
and then not only with Genesis, but realizing that you're a parent, because not only when you you're not only having your child isn't the only thing that's being born when you become a parent. You are becoming a new person when you become a parent. What's up, sweetie?
How much do you?
No, mommy's almost done her show, okay? Can you go back and put on another show for Logan and you?
Hey, mommy.
What? What?
Something on this Netflix.
Something's wrong with Netflix. Okay, well, mommy will fix Netflix. So yeah, it's once you become a parent, you become a new person. It's almost like a birth of sorts.
Tell us about it.
Because you become a brand new type of person, along with the fact that you have a kid, and that can also take place when you find out you have an adult kid. Because Kirk changed a little bit after he found out. Like, it was subtle, but he changed a little bit.
Oh no, he very definitely did. I don't even think it was that subtle. You could see he went through a pretty sincere reflection.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'll be right back. I'm just gonna check Netflix for them. So somebody have an opinion while I'm gone.
Somebody have an opinion. For God's sake, someone have an opinion. So, at any rate,
the great thing about the Star Trek stream is you're talking to 3 other hosts. Anybody can pick up and run with this as it goes.
That's
you go, Skip.
So, and the great thing also about this movie is it had a very definite finish. The bad guy definitely got killed at the end, and you have a very nice tidying up. This movie had a great ending, in my opinion. I like just about everything about this movie. In fact, I would say of all of the Star Trek movies, it's hard to say one is my favorite, but I would say this one is arguably the best made, best written, best flowing, and it probably is my favorite movie of all of them. It is weird how the even numbered movies are better than the odd numbered movies.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's true, but it is.
I think I can agree with you that this is probably the best movie, although The Undiscovered Country is right there.
I know,
right
I love that too. I was
but you're right, though.
Exactly really what I was thinking. I was thinking Undiscovered Country is a great movie.
There were some parts in Undiscovered Country that just stuck out. They were even more than Kahn, but overall, Kahn's a better movie. The whole grabbing Kirk behind the head and said, "Don't let it end this way."
Yeah.
David Warner, oh my God.
Yeah.
Another actor of Kahn's stature in the movie.
Yeah.
Makes the movie. It's the same idea. So,
but yeah, caliber performance. Yes.
Yeah, I have to agree. Kahn is
it's so good.
Overall, because it's not only do you get the excellent performer, the entire writing, beginning to end. There's no point where you're bored in that movie. Key moments, excellent. Well, of course, you're not going to miss with every member of the crew, so you're going to get perfect performances from everybody in Trek. They've been doing this for a long time. They know their parts. So there's really what can you point to in Kahn and say, well, this isn't that great? You really
nothing.
Can't point to anything.
No.
The pacing is great. The effects are great. There's nothing that you can point at.
Even the ending is wonderful, and at the end,
it's not drawn out. It's
And I was ready for Search for Spock. I knew that was going to be an insanely great movie. It was going to even be
I
better.
liked
gonna be-
Search for Spock. I don't know why.
Oh,
I did. I liked Search
Oh, I-
for Spock. Yeah.
it was man. It was in Search for Disappointment. It was the disappointing movie. It was a movie that had so much promise, and I kept waiting for the good part. And
The Voyage Home was good.
Khan's Impossible is up too, though.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
and
what I was going to say.
I may have had Wrath of Kahn hangover. That would be part of it. Seriously, my expectations were so high, and then Search for Spock was, average movie, okay, and
Yeah.
I was wanting something as wonderful as as it's sparkling and stimulating as
Yeah.
Wrath of Kahn.
I went in completely opposite of you. I went in cynical into the theater. I was like, how are they going to beat Khan? They
You're
can't
smart.
beat Khan. They can't possibly
You're
beat
smarter
Khan.
than me.
I could have been equally wrong. They could have come out with something that was stellar,
Yeah.
but I
Well, they didn't.
was like, Khan was so good. How could they possibly?
Yeah.
Well, I think that we're coming to the conclusion. I'm coming to the conclusion that this definitely withstands the test of time,
Yeah.
much more than any of the others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion, because it's always that adversarial. It's a Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right up to the death of Spock in the like in order to sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
To
It was a
that
long time before they made a bad movie. All the other movies were still good. They just weren't of this
Yeah.
good. Because of the probe, the whole wah with the probe. I mean, there are certain things about all these movies afterwards that you can pull out and say that was really cool.
Now, as far as movie I enjoy watching again and again and again, Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
I'll just sit down and just plop that in just out of love.
Undiscovered Country and The Voyage Home for me.
Voyage Home is good. Voyage Home is fine.
Out of the original movies,
Yeah,
and then
I like the
I
story.
love to watch First Contact just for.
First Contact, I got tired of that.
And I'm weird.
That's Spock's brother.
Oh God.
You're moving on to the other crew, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That was forgettable.
Yeah.
Generations.
No.
But-
Negative.
but Data says, "Oh shit."
That's the relative we don't talk about.
That was the funniest part of that movie. Oh shit.
Mostly because nobody expected it coming from him.
Yeah.
Different Data, right?
Data.
If Riker would have said it, it wouldn't have been nearly as funny.
No. But yeah, right up to the death of Spock and Kirk's eulogy. Just it's a goosebumps. It brings goosebumps.
I've told people many times, both on the air and in real life, how that movie makes me cry. At that point, when Kirk has been the stone, rock hard guy. Oh, don't take that sexually. For such a long time, his personality is just unmovable. No matter what happens to him, you can't hurt him until Spock dies, and his voice cracks.
Yep.
Gets me every time. I'm teary, and I've watched it 15 times, probably more.
And get you every time.
Even now. When it first happened, I was a blubbering mess.
Yep.
I couldn't even watch the rest of the movie. I was, but now it's like.
Did you see it in the movie theater?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. I saw it in the theater the first 3 times.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And the thing is, at that point, you're looking around at other people, and they're crying too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Undiscovered Country, I just want to throw this in, was directed by the same guy that did this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Good
That's
to know.
something to say at the next convention. I don't know if they're still doing conventions like they used to, at least maybe out in LA, but to get Shatner up on stage and thank him say thank you for making me cry. It'd probably be something he's never heard before.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, maybe on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's a fireball on Twitter.
He's conservative, man.
Yeah.
Ain't many big names that are conservative out there. Him and James Wood, the only two I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
James Woods.
Oh, Chuck Woolery is the other one.
John Cleese is a bit conservative. He's not as conservative, but
He seems
he's
to be a liberal that apologized for conservatives. To me, he seems like a liberal, but he's like, just because I'm liberal doesn't mean like you people are allowed to get away with the bullshit you're getting away with.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He is of their ilk, but doesn't believe in what they're doing.
Yeah. I know he's pretty left, but he's at least still smart enough to be like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? This is really stupid. But yeah, any final thoughts on the Wrath of Kahn?
Just excellent movie, world class. Just so much fun to think about, review. I'm so glad that that's in the Pantheon. So we're doing search for Spock next.
Yeah, search for Spock next week. Yeah.
All right.
Search for Spock.
Let's do this.
Search for Spock.
Let's actually have Star Trek stream 2 weeks in a row.
Yes, exactly.
Are you making fun of our host?
No, not at all.
No,
Not at all.
I'm making fun of our host.
We do the best we can.
Oh man,
Can't fault you a vacation.
We have lives.
Especially now.
Yeah. So yeah, next Saturday, come join us for the review of Search for Spock, and tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, Pincalo and I will be doing the Blind and the Special. Irate, who are you interviewing tomorrow?
Johnny Bonstocco.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. It should be fun.
And of course, Minions tonight with the Harry channel as Keeper.
I'll be there.
And Skeptalk will be there. And we've got, if you guys have Instagram, it's blind_press and the Driving Ape. And then Twitch, I will start linking both of our Twitch channels in the description as well, because Pincalo is going to hit 30 followers, and so I think he's at 27.
All right.
So Driving Ape is his Twitch channel, and mine is BFGC_blind_press, and I'm gonna be at 20 soon. I'm at 17 followers.
By the way, just for tonight's Minions, I just wanted to get this out there. We're going to be talking about hobbies, and particularly unusual hobbies. It might be a pretty interesting stream. And so,
nice.
For example, I'll be talking about my skydiving addiction.
So
we'll get into the mechanics of skydiving.
And Irate, you and I, do you want to talk about gaming after?
Yeah.
Okay. So, on that note, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying and coming back. And we will see you next Saturday for more Star Trek. Have a great rest of your weekend, my friends.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
In search of the Star Trek